Hey guys, welcome back, and thanks for tuning in again. I went ahead and picked the winner for the giveaway at random, which is going to be Nick Izzard 1. And I left you a message with my email. Congrats on winning the giveaway. Thanks to everyone else for participating. There will be more down the line, so just make sure that you're subscribed and you stay tuned for any giveaways that I do and any content that I have coming out. But again, that's going to be, or Nick, if your name's Nick, you're going to be winning a Ogdoad core and then some of the snake staples that come with it. But yeah, I look forward to hearing from you soon, and I will get that sent to you. But moving on, we're going to do a Friday market watch, and I picked a few cards, and then at the very end, we'll talk about the 2022 Megatons and what my thoughts are on that set. But first, I wanted to go over Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion, coming out of Flames of Destruction, Secret Rare. We're going to talk about this specific version and then just Ghost Spell in general. But right now, you can get a near mint unlimited for around $47 to $50. And then lightly played's $55, going up to 67 by the end of this page. So that's actually pretty good. And then let's see what a near mint is going for. It's around 70. So if you want to pick up those late plays for 55, that's actually really, really good. This card, or not this card, but Ghost Spell has been kind of slept on for the last couple of months. This was like really, really popular when Tri Brigade was like kind of had the top deck spot. And then people just haven't really been playing this, or at least haven't been talking about it. Maybe people have been playing it, but I haven't really heard it talked about, and I haven't really seen other people playing it online. But it's just a really good card, and it actually is pretty good right now. So I'd keep your eye on this, because eventually I think people's attention will turn back this way, even though right now it's on Ghost Ogre. And then these copies will start to disappear. These have gone down a little bit. I think we'll look at this ultra rare, but a lot of these were going for like $8 not long ago. I think maybe they still are around $8. It's around seven to eight, which isn't too bad. But in all honesty, I think that you might be better off just going for the alt art, because it's about half the cost. And I don't see the ceiling being very large for the ultra rare dual power reversion, because the ceiling isn't like the ceiling right now for Ghost Ogre is 70 for the secret rare. So it's not, I don't think that we'll see the dual power ultra rare going for 30 unless we just don't see a reprint for a long time. But these might get sprinkled into structure decks and stuff, so I doubt that we won't see another reprint. But you can get the alternative art for around 350, which is really good. I would make sure that you at least have a playset available to you. Don't get stuck in the same situation with Ghost Ogre where you don't have your copies and then it gets bought out and then it's just really expensive. Luckily, there are a bunch of printings of Ghost Ogre, so you can still get the Dual Devastator for pretty cheap, around 350 as well. But there are only 121 listings for this, which could go pretty quick. I'm sure some people have stacks though. If we were looking through, there's a stack here for 8. And I'm sure that someone has a stack of 200 of these, because I think I've seen that with some of the other Dual Devastator cards, where like some of the larger sellers have lots and lots and lots of these. Yeah, so here's one for 122 copies. But yeah, I think it's always important to make sure to hold on to your hand traps. Like, even if it's not good at a certain time, don't sell them and then try to pick them back up whenever they get popular again. What I would just do is keep a playset at least for yourself, and then invest in more copies of it whenever it's not seeing play. I got a bunch of Ghost Ogres last year when no one was playing Ghost Ogre for like really cheap, but I got a bunch of different versions. including the secret rare. And then I ended up just selling all the extra copies I had for a pretty good profit. And then whenever it comes back down, then I'll just buy those copies back. And hand traps are a pretty easy card to do that with, just because people tend to sell them, especially high rarity cards. So for like the lower ones, like these kind of like the Dual Devastator ones kind of fluctuate between $3 and $5. There's just a lot of copies of them out there, so it's kind of hard for them to get bought out unless like every single deck is playing them. But like for the high rarity versions, like secret rares, those can crash quite a bit and then get bought out to ridiculous proportions. Like I remember I picked up Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion secret rare unlimbs for like $13 a couple of years ago. Ended up selling them for like $40, I think. But yeah, so just keep your eyes out for any hand traps high rarity that are playable. Some of them, like Wonder Cherries, like I just really hate that card. It's not really the best, but I would also recommend like having those as like top rarity though, because I think Ghost Sisters will be collectible at some point. We're getting ready to have more. I think they announced a new Ghost Sister that's going to get printed sometime this year. And yeah, I think just having high rarity hand traps in general is good, but then also just having the Ghost Sisters and secret rare if you can. Moving on, I'm going to talk about Infinite and Permanent secret rare. This is going to start seeing play very, very soon, especially if like Scythe gets banned, or Scythe, or any of the Scythe package, which is the Dagda, because people aren't playing this because it's just not effective against Scythe. Even though it is effective against a lot of other cards right now, like Verte and stuff like that. But there's some cheap copies like for first edition around like the $56, $58 mark. And this could easily go back to $75, which where it was the last time this was seeing a lot of play. So I would have these, and I think it's a good long-term investment. Also, the Ultimate Rare is really good. I think it's around $195. And if you don't have those and you're looking to invest a good amount of money, that would be a good card to buy into. It's not gonna, I don't think it'll ever be 300, but it could be. It's probably just gonna take a while. But I think 250 to, is a pretty good price for that card, especially with how widely used it is. But moving on, but in general, I will say before we move on, just make sure that you at least have a super rare or ultra rare for yourself, because these will start to disappear shortly. Frame Gear Gamma, I've noticed that these are clearing, like I said, that these would start clearing off. And I think the other day I mentioned that there was like 5 or 6 copies for like around $3.50. Sorry, I'm like choking. My throat is so dry today. Hopefully that helps. But there was a seller that had like 6 or 7 copies for like $3.50. I need to take this item price only filter off. But it's around $5 now, pretty solid across the board. This guy has them for $4.30. That's not too bad if you want to pick up 4. But these will start to get cleared off, and this will be $7, $8 probably pretty soon. So if you don't have yours, make sure you have them. And then the other thing is the ultra rare is like completely bought out. It looks like a few more copies have come on to the TCG player, but earlier it was down to 8 copies. And it's about $30. I know I mentioned this earlier this week and said, hey, there's a play set of first editions for $24, $25. You better get them because they're disappearing. And sure enough, they did. So hopefully you got a chance to grab yours. But these will be gone soon if people continue to buy them at the rate that they are. But just make sure you have at least, a play set. It doesn't matter what version for yourself. Like I said, always have your personal copies of hand traps. Personally, I really like the ultra rare. I think the collected rare is just kind of a poor investment. It's just too expensive. I would really like to see this card get an ultimate rare. Is it like an OTS pack? I feel like that would be really, really cool to see, but who knows? But before they do that, I really would like to see an ultimate rare of Ash Blossom, because since we have a collector's rare of this. Next, I want to talk about Shared Ride. I've been like kind of testing this out online, and it's just a really good card. Depending on what deck you're playing, of course. I think it's also kind of a side deck card. If we start seeing Sky Striker do really well, this card against Sky Striker is just so good because they're searching, multiple times throughout their turn, and not by drawing. So I think when I was trying this out against the Sky Striker deck, I was able to draw like 4 or 5 cards, which is like just insane because you're drawing into hand traps and then extenders for yourself. So I would, and this has been bought out before. It's like $15. So like for around the $5 range, the secret rare is really not bad. And then there are reprints of this too. Like I think in El Dorado, that's got a rare, like a gold rare reprint, not like the premium gold rare, but the regular rare. And that's like 15 cents. So if you just wanted to have cheap copies for yourself, those are definitely around. Next, I want to talk about Tinny Spirit Vishuda. And I guess this can kind of apply to some of the other Tinny cards, but this one in particular is really, really good. And is seeing play with the base strategies and Tinny Sword Soul. And in a few months, not really a few months, like 4 or 5 months, we'll see all the Burst of Destiny cards reprinted, which will make Sword Soul a lot cheaper, a lot more budget. And I think that once it's more budget, it would just be a really good option for budget players, because it's not like the strongest deck per se, but it's definitely pretty strong enough where you're putting up, a few negations or a few disrupts. And I think once you start seeing those, like, let's say Incredible Ecclesia and Moye and some of those cards that are pretty expensive get reprinted in the Megatons and they start dropping, these Tinny cards will probably start to get more expensive, which is what we see with a lot of decks. One example I can point to is if you look at Emancipator in the 2021 tens, when they reprinted Researcher, it dropped the price of the deck down substantially. And then the one card that was not reprinted was Koki Marrow Supplier from Rise of the Duelist, which is an ultra rare. And that immediately spiked up to like $25 to $28 at one point. I think it's back down probably to like 12 or 14 now, because that deck's just not seeing too much play. But that's just the general nature of decks getting reprinted in the Megatons. It's usually an extender or an important card for that archetype that's not getting reprinted, just skyrockets in price because the price of the deck goes down. So I would keep your eye on these Tinny cards. And I think you can pretty much use these in like kind of a lot of synchro builds. I will personally be picking up a playset to try to, because I'm going to try to build Sword Soul probably some point this year. And I definitely want to do like a Tinny heavy build. Next is Distributor of the Lost Dragons Prison. As you probably know, this got released off the ban list to 1 copy. And this is a super rare going for around $7, which isn't really bad. I think if you want to pick one up, that's fine. If it was like $15, I would say to sell it, because I think with any card getting released off the ban list, most likely will show up as an ultra rare or secret rare, or not secret rare, ultra rare and Ghost from the Past, because that's usually what they do. Usually the next reprint set, they'll give you a copy. So I think that this will probably get an ultra rare reprint and Ghost from the Past, and I think Snow will too. So I think just both those cards, like if you're not using it, you can sell it. This is only $6, so you don't have to sell it because it is OTS super. So it probably will maintain at least a few dollars, but it's completely up to you. But for Snow, since it is like $20, I would get rid of it because it'll probably get back down to $4 or $5 once we see a holo reprint. Destiny Hero Dasher Secret Rare. I know we covered the super rare in the last market wash. These are going for around $9. We can refresh because I think I pulled this up last night. Let's see. Okay, so it's going for $8.90 with shipping, which is really not too bad. If you want to pick these up, I think that this is fine. You can maybe wait another week because this is like day 1 or day 2. I think today's day 1. So it'll probably drop a little bit more towards like the $6 or $7 mark if you want to wait for that. I wouldn't say that this is necessarily like a great investment piece. It's just I think it's probably the nicest looking version for your deck. But I think you can get a better deal on it than this, honestly, unless you just don't want to risk it. But I think there's plenty of copies, as you can see here. So I don't think you have any risk of this card getting bought out. I think you're going to be fine. I think most people that needed Dasher have them already, and there's only going to be a small subset of people that care to get the secret. Next is Verte. So if you watch the deck profile I did yesterday, at the end of it, I kind of talked about the Megatons and how Dragoon was getting reprinted. And I said, and we also probably should expect Destroyer, Phoenix, and Force to be reprinted as well. And with that happening, the prices of these packages are going to be greatly reduced. So I think with people seeing Dragoon and DPE being budget, a lot more people are going to want to play it. So a lot of people are going to have to go pick up these cards. And these are going to run out really quick when that happens. So I would make sure that you have a couple of copies. I probably will pick up like 3 or 4 of these. I'm not going to go crazy on it because it's, it could be hit by the ban list, but I just really don't think so. With the Megatons, pretty much, the 2 best cards getting printed in it. I guess 3 best would be Forbidden Droplet, DPE if it is reprinted there, and Dragoon, which is confirmed. And so if Dragoon and DPE happen to be in there, which we know Dragoon is, a huge selling point of it will be Verte Anaconda being legal, because no one's going to care about Dragoon if Verte is banned, because it's not really viable for any decks. So I think that if they're going to ban Verte, it's not going to happen until at least a couple months after the Megatons, because they can't ban it right after the Megaton, because then people are going to be like, what the hell? But moving on, I pulled up Lightning Storms. If you have the ultra rare or secret rare, I would sell them as fast as you can. You probably have a couple of months to sell them before, or at least maybe 3 or 4 months before they start slowly dipping back down, as more people are trying to sell them with the anticipation of the reprint and the Megatons. So if you want to get the most value for your cards, I would go ahead and offload them, specifically the ultra rare, which is, I think, might already be dipping. This was hitting $70 about a week ago, and now you can get them for around 60. Yeah, I think the ultra rare will maybe dip even sooner than the secret rare, but both of them will start dipping towards the Megatons. So just keep that in mind. This is money that you can put in your wallet and save if you go ahead and sell these now and just wait for the Megatons, specifically if you're not playing them. But like I said, if you want to continue playing them, you have 3 or 4 months until prices start really going down. And usually the prices don't tank until release, like too much. Like they'll just slowly creep down, and then on release they just tank. So keep that in mind. And then, if you want to sell it in a couple months and then wait for the reprint, and then just pick up whatever version you like, and then you're good to go. Last is the Megatons. So I'm not sure exactly where the best deal is for these. I know for YGO Daily, they are selling for $185 for the 2022, which isn't terrible, but it's not amazing either. Ideally, I'd want to pick these up for like $165, and I am definitely going to get these. But I do know it's YGO Daily, so I think the discount code from what's his name? I know the discount code is What's Good 5, but it's House of Champs. That's his discount code. I think you can save like 5% on Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily if you use his code. And then I think for international viewers, tier 0 has them for 190 pounds, I think, which is a little expensive, to be honest. So I'm not sure. You guys will have to let me know if you're international, like where you usually order your tins from. But I think 185 is just okay. And they're limiting 1 case per customer, which is really, really not good. Like I'd want to get 2 or 3. But I think what they're scared of is not getting enough tins in. And the other thing is too, with how good these tins are, that people, I think people might be a little reluctant to sell them for like the 160 range, because it's just going to be guaranteed money having all those really good reprints in there. This could be like one of the best Megatons of all time, but I guess time will tell. Anyways, thanks for watching. I will do a video either today or at some point, basically going through my deck building process. What I'm going to do is kind of combine 2 things. So we're going to do a budget series deck profile for Altergeist. What I'm going to do is kind of just start with the Altergeist core and then go through my reasoning of how I usually build a deck. And I think that might be helpful. Maybe not for all players if you already know what you're doing, but if you're a newer player just getting back in, or intermediate trying to get a little bit better, maybe that would be helpful for you. But let me know in the comment section if that's something that would interest you. I'll probably do it anyways, but I think it's a pretty good idea. I think that's pretty unique. I haven't really seen too many people do stuff like that. So we'll see how it turns out. But thanks for watching. I will see you guys later.